either have a business or looking to start one, or looking to expand the one you currently have. And raising money could be a complex activity, definitely. Anybody who has done it will tell you it's not very easy. This will tell you that raising money is nothing. There are people who may have not gone through the process at all. But if you've gone through the process, you know that raising money could get to be a very complicated undertaking. However, there's a process to it, and in what I've learned at Inversion, because primarily our work is to help entrepreneurs find funding, whether they're going to get that through investors or family and friends, or they're going to get it um, bootstrapping, crowdfunding, etc. Our job is to help them find the money. So today we're going to talk about finding the money. Now, the goal of training is transformation. It's not just enough for us to share information. It is my hope that it will be truly transformational for you and everybody here. Just a moment. Can I get some help with you? I don't know whether so just to make sure that my screen. Okay. All right. So great. All right. So great to have everybody. Get to have everybody on at this time. Um, okay. So let's get started. How do you convince your family and friends to invest in your first business? Now, I'm talking here to business people who are serious about starting a business. You really want to start one. It's not as if you just have a hobby, something that you're excited about. This is, you want to start a business. You want to do something. You want to create something. And I mean, by all means, you should ask your family and friends to help you start it, because that thing that you're building, there's no telling how big it's going to get. There's no telling how important it's going to end up being. And you should not be dissuaded. So if you're in this place today and maybe you have asked for money before and then they didn't answer you, and then you're wondering, maybe I should stop and give up. Do not stop, do not give up, because the world needs you and what you have to offer. I was making the point earlier that the goal of knowledge is transformation. All right. So this only works when you commit to putting to work and taking action on the things that we talk about. It will give me great joy to see you walk up to an uncle, an aunt, your dad or your mom, and use the principles we're going to discuss today to be able to get money successfully from them. Incidentally, I've had the opportunity to do this. I remember when I just came out of school, when I just finished from the university, I had a great idea. I mean, that was when startups were just beginning to start up. I had this great idea of what I call the open courseware, which is, how about we have all our courses on the internet so that even if you miss class, all right, you can still get the notes. Because I don't know if you guys remember, then in school, to get the notes for your class was tough. You know, when you get 3 different notes from 3 different classmates, all the 3 notes are saying 3 completely different things. So to get the real notes, I thought, let us create a platform where all the notes could be there, and then every student can access, and then we'll monetize it somehow. And I created a team around it, and I thought, oh, we're going to do great things. We're going to change the world. I picked up the phone one day and I called my uncle, who was the then Attorney General of Enugu State in Nigeria. I said, Uncle, I got an idea. Would you help me? How would you help me fund this business? And he asked me several very tough questions. He said, have you thought it through? Do you have a good team? Do you know how the money is going to come back? I mean, immediately me first, because I was young then, this was like, what, 10, 12 years ago? I was aback. I was like, excuse me, if you want to help me, help me. If you don't want to help me, leave me alone. And that is something that a lot of people feel like when these family and friends are asking you a question like, oh, I don't know, my uncle doesn't want to help me. I don't know why he's behaving like this. And you could get you could get upset. But there is a technique that I know that works. All right. So I'll give you another example. A friend of mine was trying to get her billionaire uncle, like this gentleman is a billionaire, to give her some money to start some tech startup that she had gotten in that come up with in school. And she had asked for, I think, $400,000 or so. And the man will only give her the man would only give her about $5,000 or $10,000 to start. And she's wondering, she's wondering. Hey. She's wondering why is this guy not giving me the money I need, you know? And but the truth of the matter is that there is a way. All right, you're gonna keep having challenges convincing uncle, auntie, sister, brother to give you the money if you don't look at these things that we're going to talk about. And with this, you can be successful, and that business does not have to die. That dream doesn't have to die with you. You can actually make it happen because you put these things to work. All right, so let's get right into it. And don't forget, the goal is action. I want, as a result of this course today, somebody's going to take action and you're going to give back feedback and say, I took action and this is what I have done. I've been able to raise money. I want you to be able to raise, by the end of this course, definitely you will know what to do to raise money today. If you want to raise money today, just as soon as you're done, you can go and put this to work and take action. All right. Now, before you ask for money, there are some things that you should put in place before you ask for money. A lot of times when it comes to money, it's not the asking that changes it, it's what you do before. Whether you're talking to investors like venture capital investors, or you're talking to your uncle or your auntie, or even talking to the crowd to crowdfund your business. So before you ask, here are things that are important questions for you to answer. All right. The first thing is, sincerely speaking, are you hungry or is there a business opportunity? Is it that you're just thinking, you know, some people, they start a business out of something they call FOMO, fear of missing out. Everybody is starting something. Let me also go and do something. Well, that's not going to work. All right. So is it that you are hungry? Now someone say, yeah, someone say me, I'm both hungry and I want to start a business. Okay, great. But most importantly is there a business opportunity? Have you found a business opportunity? I remember when I started Inversion, I told my elder brother, who is like our biggest partner in the company, I told him that he owns 10% of the company. So he's going to give me money for everything that I'm going to use to start and grow the business. And he's going to get 10% of the business when the business becomes so great. Oh, he agreed. And then he started funding my dreams and, helping me as much as he can, of course. We kept on growing. But I then realized at some point, after working with his partnership for a while, I then realized that, man, I need to make a more convincing pitch to this man, because I need to come up as clear value and not just on the basis of we're related. So that's the thing. Like, before you ask for money, fundraising helps you quiz your business idea. Is it that something entered your head and you said, okay, let me just go and try this thing? Or have you thought it through? Is there an opportunity? There's a difference between a business idea and a business opportunity. All right. A business idea is, they say idea is a dime a dozen, but opportunity comes but once. Right. So which one is more precious? A business idea is something that pops into your head like, oh, I want to try and do this thing. I want to try and make this happen. Great. That's a great idea. So it's, oh my God, you have a beautiful idea. But a business opportunity is a market gap that you identify. Oh, if I produce something, I know 1, 2, 3 people who are going to buy it. I know 1, 2 people who is going to solve their problem. So the question again is, are you hungry or is there a business opportunity? Now, the second important question is, do you really know how much you need? I kind of emphasize how important this is. Do you really know how much you need? So you say, how much do you need? Say, I just need money. I need a lot of money. A lot of money There's nothing, nobody can reference anything to a lot of money. How much do you need? I remember, uh, I remember, Charles, the executive director of SME 100, was going to invest in a guy's business. And this guy is a catering service. And this gentleman sent him a breakdown of what he thought he needed for the business. Send him a breakdown of what he thought he needed for the business. Now, the interesting thing about this breakdown was that I think it was somewhere around 5 million naira that the guy asked for to run this business. 5 million naira the guy asked for to run this business. Now, by the time he finished squeezing him, they realized that the guy didn't need what? The guy needed what, about 70,000. All right. But the guy had asked for 5 million. In fact, included in the breakdown of the budget that he wanted, he had needed 500,000 naira in cash in bank. And then Charles is asking him, is it my cash or your cash that you want to put inside the bank? How do I put my cash inside the bank to be sitting down there, 500,000 naira, and just leave it like that inside the bank, just to be looking when I'm trying to make my money work for me? So a lot of times, do you know how much you need? Do you know how much you need? How much do you really, really need? All right. Or you just say, I need money. How much? 50 million billion. I remember a gentleman came to me and told me that he wanted to start bringing in plantain from, was it Ondo State or something? And that I should invest in him. And I asked him how much did he need. He told me he needed 500,000. This was like 10. No. This was like 6 years ago. He said he needed 500,000 naira. And at that time, mind you, that naira was still about 150 naira to $1. So 500,000 was something, all right? He needed 500,000. I asked him for what? How much is one trip? How much is one truck? How much is one trip? How much is it going to cost you to come? And whenever people begin to ask you questions at this level and you've not thought it through, what you're doing is that you're discouraging that investment. And don't forget, the fact that they're your family and friend doesn't mean that they're obliged to give you the money. You don't know how they made the money. You don't have a right to their money, all right? So what you need to do is to present a case of value. Without a case of value, it's going to be extremely difficult for anybody to say, I'm going to work with you. I'm going to invest in your business. And so thinking about how much you need is so important. So ask yourself now, how much do I really need? If you don't know how much you really need, don't forget the word really there. How much do you really need? If you don't know how much you really need, don't expect anybody else to give you money just for free. All right. The next question to ask yourself is, what have you done before that qualifies you for this one? In life, the biggest lever to your present is your past. And the biggest lever for your future is your present. All right. We always find ourselves doing things that lead us to the next level. And that's the way it should work. All right, that's where it should work. So the question I have is, what have you done before that qualifies you for this? And this may be something that you need to think through. You may have these skills, but you don't even know what they are. So a lot of times maybe you've been an employee in an organization that does something similar to what you're starting. That is great because that gives people confidence. Don't forget, whenever you're trying to get at an investor, what you're trying to do is you're trying to improve their confidence in you. It's just a matter of confidence. They're trying to improve their confidence in you. The ones who are confident in you are the ones that will give you money, whether your family or friends or not. And remember, you want to make a business case and not just come with cajoling and say, it's my uncle, you have to do it for me. He doesn't have to do it. He doesn't have to do it for you. All right. He does it because maybe he loves you or she loves you and there's a clear business opportunity. But what have you done before that qualifies you for this opportunity? And these are things that you should write down, right? Every single one of these things we talked about. From number one is there a business opportunity? What is business opportunity? The second thing we talked about is that, do you know how much you need exactly? Do you know how much you need exactly? And the third question is, what have you done before that qualifies you for this opportunity? Have you been an employee in an organization that does something similar? Now, of course, the dynamics of being an employee and an employer are completely different. All right. If you've ever been an employee before you become an employer of labor, you know that it's completely different. I mean, I for one was, when I was an employee, I used to work for in a company called After School Graduate Development Center with my executive director, a woman named Diton Ogo, who's an amazing boss. And then there was a gentleman there who was a very close friend of the organization, who used to be a staff of the organization before me. His name was Tunde, or his name is Tunde Ojukutu. And one day I was telling Tunde Ojukutu about the beautiful ideas that I have, of the things I want to do to take this whole thing to the next level, and that if I don't even get the opportunity to do it here, that I could start something on my own and go ahead to do it. And then he told me something. He said, Brian, you see, you may not know it, but your boss may be covering up many of your weaknesses that you don't even know about. And did I find out when I started my own business? All right, when you invested all your money in trying to get a particular deal and the deal doesn't come through, and then the very next day you come to the office and there's a bill from Loma, there's the fuel, things that you have to pay. Then maybe one of your employees is injured, went to the hospital, you have to do something. Your humanity is challenged, right? Your humanity is challenged, and those are the differences between being an employer and an employee. But when you want to make a case like this, if you've been an employee in that organization, at least we know you know the work, all right? The other things that go with running a business are things that you have to learn by doing. You really cannot know them. You can't study them. You can't even study them from a business school. You have to learn them by doing. So what have you done before that qualifies you for this opportunity? Understanding that, writing that out, identifying it. Now, don't forget, some of these things are things that you actually do need to identify for yourself. So you need to identify these things and then take note of them as you prepare to ask for this money. The fifth one is there demand, and have you tested it? Is there demand for the thing that you want to invest in? Is there demand for the product? What do we mean by demand? Demand is willingness to pay. One of the biggest challenges you can have as a business person is doing a business for which there is no demand. If you do a business and there's no demand, you will suffer. If you do a business whereby people may need something, but they don't want to pay for it in the short term. It's like right now, the way the world is structured, a lot of people lost money, time during the lockdowns, and now people are stretched for budget. But people must buy things. People buy things that they absolutely need. So if you're not playing the absolutely need space, you may do one of two things: either figure out how to become an absolutely needed product, or look for a new way of servicing the existing market. So demand can be tested. I know a lot of people try to figure out what to do. And I used to do that before, trying to figure out what to do. I need to know what to do. I need to try to think through what to do. You really don't need to. You really don't need to think through what to do or figure out what to do. As a matter of fact, you could test. You could test to see what works. If you get an idea, try it. You see, now the access to market is easy for several businesses. Of course, some is more complex, but most of them, they are easy. You can run a Facebook advert against the product, spend $10, see if you make one sale, right? See whether it goes, see whether one person goes. You can even run something free and see whether people download it, see whether people like it. And you can test that market, and you can come back with that data. So, we tested it to uncle or auntie. I'm going to use uncle for most of these things, okay? It's not just take it. That's just the metaphor that we're going to use for most of the examples. So you can say, uncle, this is what we've done. My friends and I, we came together. We have this beautiful idea, and we've sold 5. And then if with more investment, we will sell more. They're making sense, all right? But when you have a business that you've not thought about how it's going to, because I remember the first example that I gave you. If you're not thought about how it's going to bring back money, it becomes problematic. It becomes problematic, all right? And that actually brings me to my next point, which is, do you know how the money is going to come back? All right? Are you asking for the money because you feel like they're dashing you? Now, even though they are giving you and they're forgetting about it, trust me, they're forgetting about it if they're giving you. But for your own purpose as a business person, you're going to raise money. This is not the last time you will raise money. You're going to raise money, and in raising money, you're going to need to make a clear case for value. All right. So, but do you know how the money is going to come back? I remember that my beautiful idea that I had when I was on campus, I didn't know how the money was going to come back. I just wanted to do something that I thought was a great idea. And yes, of course, sometimes there are some people who begin a business and you don't know where the money is going to come back, and then some way, somehow, you do get it right. There are those cases, but not all the time. Most of the time, you need to know where the money is going to come back from. How is it going to come back? How are you going to make the sales? What kind of sales are you looking at getting? The long and short of it is, you don't just go and jump into an ask and say, give me money for this purpose. There are these background things that need to be done. So let's recap very quickly. So the first one is that, is there a business opportunity, or is it hunger that you're trying to face? Nobody is trying to help you because you're hungry and then you're coming with a business. Better for you to just go up front and say, I'm hungry. All right. And then they will either give you money or yab you and tell you, what are you doing with your life? I mean, if you ever had those what are you doing with your life conversations, so what are you doing with your life? Go and do better with your life. Okay, no problem. I will. Then that's why I'm trying to start a business, etc. All right. So is there a business opportunity? And I differentiated between a business idea and a business opportunity. And then we talked about, do you really know how much you need? And I put emphasis on the word really. Do you really know how much you need? Or is it a case of just give me money, I will figure out what I will do with time? Do you really know how much you need? All right. Then what have you done before that qualifies for this opportunity? Even though you're talking to a family and friend, or a family member or friend of yours, it's important for you to be clear on what skills you have to assure them that you're not about to waste the investment. Because don't forget, it is an investment. The topic says how to convince your family and friends to invest in your first business. And by investment, that means they are giving you value for value. All right. And then, is there demand, and have you tested it? And I just told you, it's very easy to test things. Before you go into that crayfish business, or that jewelry business, or that clothes business, or cars, or whatever it is you want to do, you can actually test it on your own. You can actually test on your own for very little or nothing and see whether there is a market. Now, of course, you could run a pilot phase of your product and nobody buys. It doesn't mean you don't have a viable idea. It just means that you should check it a little more, because it may just mean that you don't have a viable idea, but it may also mean that there's something else to look at. It just gets your attention to see. But if you can test in the market, and if you take anything away from this, among everything I'm saying, just for your own personal business, a lot of people don't start businesses because they are trying to get it right. They're trying to do the very correct thing. Like, they're trying to figure out what is the best thing for me to do. There's no best thing for you to do, because you cannot even know. A lot of people who invest in startups, like, we work very closely with a lot of investors, all right, in Inversion, and you don't know which startup is going to become great. You don't know. Some people may come up with a very crazy idea, and that crazy idea becomes great. I mean, think about it. Let me an example that we can all relate with. Think about it. I have an idea. I have an idea that I'm going to have my teenage daughter, who is about 15 years old, ride in a car with a total stranger that she has never met before. And that total stranger that is going to take her to her destination and then possibly bring her back, or she will come back home in the car of another complete stranger. What kind of idea is that? You're going to think that doesn't make any sense. But that's what Uber is, all right? They're riding in cars owned by complete strangers, and they're taking you to your destination and back. So sometimes if you look at an idea, like, is it going to work? But then you can look at the merits of the idea and say, okay, it eases ride hailing, and then it makes transportation easier, etc. But there's also a percent in which you don't know if it's going to work, all right? And then the same idea may have different iterations in different locations. So we don't really know what ideas are going to work. That's why you need to act. That's why people always say, fail fast or fail forward, or, there's this mantra that I think they had in, was it Facebook or Google? They move fast and break things, because you've got to go, you've got to try it. If you don't try it, you're never gonna know. If you're waiting for the perfect idea for you to implement, it may never come. You've got to try. And don't try it for too long. Don't try things for like 3 years, 4 years. It's still not working. You're still trying. It's not working. You're still trying because you learn that tenacity and doggedness. There is a thin line, and sometimes it's very difficult to spot that thin line. It's very difficult because you don't know, am I supposed to continue? Am I supposed to use tenacity, or do I stop? Do I track back for a moment and rethink my strategy? But those are things that we can only help you do when we have a one-on-one conversation for us to understand the reality of your situation. But the truth is, test ideas. Don't test for too long. See what works. See what the market wants. I always tell people, don't get your feedback on what to do from just your instinct or the opinions of others. Test in the market. See what the market wants. If the market wants it, the market will take it. If the market doesn't want it, it's okay. The market is fair. So they say. The market is fair. The market is going to tell you if you're good or not. All right. When you come out there, the market is going to tell you if you're good or not. No matter how good you think you are, the market tells you that you're not good. Get better. All right. So is there demand for it, and have you tested it? Then do you know how the money is going to come back? So if you're taking notes, you have these 5 points and you've written under them, the different notes that you need to take, how much you need, etc. Now, then let us now talk about structuring your ask. This is where a lot of people get very concerned about, like, oh, how do I ask for the money? What do I say? How do I structure my requests? The more you expand in business, the more you understand that there are principles and there are tactics. All right. Principles are like foundations. All right. They're the fundamentals on which it's like value. Value is a fundamental of business. All right. Where there is no value, there is no business. No matter the strategy you want to use to deceive people into buying your product, the truth of the matter is that people have thought selling is like tricking people to do something that they want to do. No, you're just going to have one sale and then that's that. Selling is serving. Selling is helping. Selling is bringing a solution to people that they wouldn't have had if not for you. Because I think about the joy I get when maybe I buy a course that explains to me something that I didn't know. All right. I think about the feedback I get from people who have watched one of our programs or bought any of our courses or came for one of our business planning services or pitch deck services and use that pitch deck to successfully get an investor. How happy they are when people get solutions to their problems. How happy they are when people have their questions answered. So when we are serving, when we are running a business, when we're doing something for people, it's beyond, oh, I'm trying to make money for myself. And we are trying to make money for ourselves. But at the same time, we are definitely, it's not lost on us, the fact that we're solving problems for people. We're answering questions for people. All right. And we're making a difference. So the principles are the ones we've talked about already. These are the foundation on which every valuable ask is built. Now, if we're talking to venture capitalists, there are some other things that we'll put in here, but these are just the basics. All right, these are just the basics. Especially when you're just dealing with people who you're already familiar with, because you don't need to warm them up to you as a person. All right, although you may need to introduce them to yourself as a business person, and those are some of the things that we're going to talk about in this second phase of our discussion. I hope everybody is following so far. Okay, that's awesome. We're going to have a time for question and answers at the end. So if you have any questions right now, you can just jot it down. I'll take it. And if you want to ask me any questions on how to get your business funded, I'm here. All right. So you can ask me any question on how to get your business funded, and I'll let you know with the ideas that I have, what to do depending on where you are. To reiterate again, the goal of knowledge is transformation. All right. The responsibility of learning is action. All right. No matter how much we learn, if we don't take action, it doesn't make a difference. All right. My joy is to see that you took action on this and then you got some money, you started that big business. 10 years from now, the business is really successful, and that's only because you took action. All right. I love an entrepreneur community so much, because for you to be listening to this, it means that you're not waiting for something to happen for you. You're trying to make something happen. And that has immense value, all right, as a person. Okay, so let's talk about structuring your act. Let's now talk about tactics. Tactics. So I advise you, the first thing is to have a rider. What I mean, you know a rider, when you say a motorcade, you first see the riders in front. All right, those are the guys that come before the big man comes with his with the flags on the car, etc. But a rider is like something that you do to kind of, you know, prep the person that you're about to talk to let them know what you're about to say. Like, don't just meet them because you just went for your cousin's naming ceremony and you saw your uncle there and say, uncle, good afternoon. Please, you have to invest in my business. Blah, 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 blah. Unless it's a joke, unless you're first joking. Maybe you just wanted to shock him. But trust me, that can be where you're having the serious conversation. All right. You need to I think it's always important. For me, what I've learned is the first thing is say, uncle, remember I told you I'll be using uncle, so bear with me. In case you're not saying my own is auntie, just replace it. All right. The first thing is say, I would like to discuss uncle. Uncle, my friend and I have been working on something, or really, like we've seen 2 or 3 people, and maybe an enterprise product. We've seen 2 or 3 companies tell us that they are interested in what we're doing, and we think that we can really make it big. I'd like to discuss about it to get your advice on it and to see what you think about it, and also to see whether you can give us some investment and become part of the people who helped us bankroll this thing, and in exchange for some kind of equity in our company. And guys looking at you like, what are you saying? Don't be afraid of the faces, right? And that's the thing. You need a thick skin when you're raising money. When you're raising money at any level, because people don't wake up in the morning thinking, I feel like giving out money today. People wake up in the morning thinking, I want to make some money today. Think about people like you. They don't feel like giving you money, all right? But they will if there's clear value, all right? If there's clear value. So you need a rider. A rider is that brief introduction. Just, uncle, please, can we meet another time? I want to discuss, but don't say something like, I want to discuss something with you. That doesn't make any sense, because that doesn't communicate any value or desire. I want to discuss something with you. Could be anything, all right? Be clear on the fact that, you have this idea, you've tested it, this is 1, 2, 3 things that have happened as a result, and then you want to discuss with him so that he can come in early. Say, uncle, do you know that early stage investors in businesses like Google have gone on to become billionaires? Uncle, I might just have the next Google on my hands. Like, you never know. I would like to come and discuss something with you. You understand? You need to give detail. All right. So have a rider, and don't bump into people and think that they have to give you money. And I want to reiterate again, you don't have a right to people's money. Don't forget. Like, they have a right to give you or not to give you. Your job is to make a very, very strong case. And that's exactly what we're talking about. The second one is as much as possible, have the discussion one-on-one. All right. You don't want to be in a noisy place when they are passing food. Yeah. So as I was saying, then another person will pass. Philomena, how are you? Long time, And then you're there sitting down like, oh dear. You're having things that are breaking up your conversation. So you want to ask for a meeting. You want to ask for a one-on-one. You want to ask for a time. So can I see for 15 minutes? If it's someone that lives in your city, you can say, I want to come and see you in your office. If it's not someone that lives in your city and somebody that has to, maybe that is your opportunity to see him, you can say, oh, can I see you for 15 minutes upstairs or something, or downstairs or outside or something? But you need to take them to a place where it's one-on-one. It's 2 of you that are having this discussion. Then, thirdly, you need to have a bold and confident conversation. See, don't be guessing. And let me tell you something. You don't even know if you have a great idea. You don't know. So it's difficult for you to even be so sure, like, uncle, this is great. I mean, if you were pitching Facebook is already very successful. Everybody knows it's successful. But this one, it's your new Olamide book. You don't know whether it's going to be successful. You don't know much about it. So you have to get into character. All right. I tell people, when you're pitching to anybody, you are in character. You're not being yourself. You're being the self that is required for your purpose. All right. So you need to have a bold, confident conversation. All right. Have to talk with him, have a bold conversation as much as possible. Look up, don't look down, saying, "Uncle, I don't know. We're just trying this. We're just trying to." You're not inspiring confidence in the person you're talking to. All right, inspire confidence. Now, mind you, it's not even about whether you get the yes or no. You are training yourself on how to ask for money. And that's going to be very important, because as an entrepreneur, you will ask for money. If what you're doing is going to be great, you will ask for money. There's nobody that say, I didn't ask for money at all. They still will ask for money. At least if your business becomes so successful, you will still go and ask for money in the stock exchange when you do your IPO. Ain't it? So have a bold conversation, a confident conversation. Give clear examples. All right. Give clear examples on what you're doing. All right. Make sure that they know what you're doing. And you see, it's not enough for you to be confident inside your mind, to sound confident inside your mind. You have to be seen to be confident. So you need to play the role. That doesn't mean that you should now be telling him, talking anyhow to the person. There's a balance, but you need to be confident. There's a difference between being confident, a pitch that is confident, and just an ordinary pitch. A confident pitch is a pitch that comes from a place of very, very strong hope in the future. The other one comes from a weak place, All right. Then the next important point is to show something. You can't just go and speak English because it's not memorable. Even if it's a photo or a video, sometimes people have if it's an app, maybe you have a prototype. If it's a product, maybe you have a sample of the product. That showing something can make a big difference in whether you get the attention of that person you're pitching to or not. When you don't show anything, it's like nothing is concrete. You have to show something. And you have to show something that you've been doing before. Say, you did this. I remember when I got my first job after, I think I was still a student then, at Rise. I was working with a woman named Toyosi Akirili. And when I went to see Toyosi for the first time in her office, and we were talking, at some point I thought I was losing her. I'm like, oh my God, I hope I'm making sense. But I had published my first magazine, which I called Inversion Campus Voice. And it was with me. So I showed her, I said, this is what I had published. Right? In fact, I didn't even go there to even try to get a job. She actually did hire me, and I was happy for the experience. I went there just discuss what I was doing to see whether we could partner with her some way, somehow, to make it even bigger. But by showing something, it was concrete. Like, it looked more real. It looked more desirable. All right. So show something. You've got to come with something like a sample. No matter how small, there has to be something that you show. I remember a story was told by the pastor of my church. Now the church is like really massive and it's got like branches all around the world. But when he was a young guy, he was in his home, and a family friend of theirs came to visit with his parents. And after the normal thing, now when they finish, you now come outside and greet the person and say, "Uncle, good afternoon," or something like that. When they were done, the person looked at what he was doing. The person looked at the photos. He showed him photos of what he was up to. Say, "Oh, you've done this crusade, you've done this, and this is wonderful. All right, so I'm going to fund your business. And the gentleman actually gave them the money to get their first office. All right, because it showed something. So don't forget to go with something. Ensure that you show something. All right. Then number 5 is listen to what they say. All right. It's important that you listen to what they say. Listen to what they have to say. Nod, even if you disagree. That's not the time for you to try to teach them something or try to start an argument with them. Listen to what they have to say. If they are objecting, sometimes they say, "What are you talking about? All this internet? That was how in so and so in 1994, my friend started business on industry or internet thing. He lost all his money. How do I start business on this internet thing? That's I say, no, Uncle, you don't understand. Uncle, you don't understand. You don't understand where we are in the world today. Uncle, the world has changed. Let me explain something to you about this thing. No. You're not there to listen. You're not there to start an argument. I always tell people, effectiveness is the goal. What is effectiveness? Effectiveness means that if my goal needs 15, number 15, no matter how much I love number 18, number 19, number 24, if it's 15 that I need to get to achieve my goal, I need to go and pick number 15. If no matter how much my impulse wants me to do number 18, it doesn't work. All right. I need to just go and pick the very thing that I want to do that will help me achieve my purpose. So arguing with your uncle at that time doesn't help you achieve any purpose. So there's no need. So be calm. All right. Listen to what they have to say. When you listen to what they have to say, you decide, okay, let me say my own. Okay, so this internet thing, there's nothing that you are doing there. It's very risky. All kinds of people all around the world, they are hackers. Have you heard about hackers? Yeah, uncle, it's true. I heard about hackers. I say, oh, so uncle, it's funny that these days the three biggest companies in the world are internet companies. You have Amazon, you have Facebook, you have Google. These are our alphabet. I said these are the biggest companies in the world today, and you're making your own point. All right, without being disagreeable. So listen to what they have to say. Listen to what they have to say. Be calm. Don't forget. I always like to listen to what people have to say because I also know that maybe I don't have all the answers. It's possible. It's possible that sometimes what they are saying doesn't make any sense, but sometimes it does make some sense. So maybe we don't have all the answers. So let's listen. Let's listen for what they have to say. All right. I think it's important to listen to what people have to say. Yeah, and not even if you don't agree, let them know that you're following, not that you're trying to do cool. At the end of the day, uncle, at the end of the day, we don't even know whether you are, we don't even know whether you are supporting us or you are not supporting us. You're not supporting us. All right. So the next point is have a definite ask. Have a definite ask. All right. What are you asking for, uncle? I need 500,000 naira to start this business. 500,000 naira, because with 500,000 naira, I'll be able to do this. Don't forget all the questions that we answered in the first part. What do you need the money for? What do you need this money for, really? I just need the money because I don't know. I just need money. Do you need the money for marketing? Do you need the money for assets? If you need money, it's like, okay, out of that money, I will be able to buy food, I'll buy new clothes, I'll buy shoes, plus the other things I will do with the money. The person is not under any obligation. The person is not under any obligation to give you money for those purposes unless you are asking for that specific purpose. So have a definite ask. Don't leave a pitch meeting without a close. When you are asking for money, you have to ask for a specific amount. So how much do you need? Anything, I mean, I can work with any budget. You don't look serious because if you know what you want to achieve, you can achieve with any budget. If you want to buy a car, you can achieve with a budget of 5,000 naira. You can work with any budget. There is the amount that you need. There is the minimum ask. There is the maximum ask. You can even go with uncle. This is the money, but if you start us at this level, it's okay. And then you have to start with money that you know that if they give you, they won't shake. But also you need to watch it because some people ask for money from their family members to invest in the business. They're like, it's nothing to you now. It's nothing to you. What is it to you? It's not about what is it to the person who is giving it to you. It's a question of, do you know what you need money for? Because you don't know what it takes for them to make the money that they have. And even if you say, I know, you don't know. You don't know until you are the person. You don't really know. So it's not a matter of what is it to you. It's a matter of how much do you really need? Your own concern is that you want to build this company and you want to make it a very, very successful organization. That is your goal. And so you want to get the money you need to start it, to grow it, because starting and growing this company is going to be, a mighty edifice. A mighty edifice. So let's just recap. Some of the things we've talked about. So the first one, when you're structuring your ask, you need to have a rider, right? Have Don't just jump in and say, "Give me money" when you just meet them. No, say, "Oh, I'd like to." And some things. This is some opportunities that I've seen. This is why it's a good opportunity, and let's meet at this place to discuss. Let's meet. Just bring them. I really want to get feedback from you on these things. Then the second thing is have discussion one-on-one. Try not to have discussion in a place where it's very rowdy and you're distracted. They won't listen to your pitch. Your goal is not to talk. Your goal is to be heard. So you have to do everything you can to take them to a place where they can hear you out. All right. If you have the opportunity, book a meeting in their office if they have one, or book a meeting in their house if you can, if you live in the same city. If it's an opportune meeting, just ask for 5 or 10 minutes to go and do your pitch. All right. And then we talked about have a bold, confident conversation. All right, have a bold, confident conversation. Don't be looking down saying you don't know, you don't know. As an entrepreneur, you are dealing in optimism. All right, the whole country can be saying you don't know, but you know because you are taking on something that is extremely difficult. It's not easy to run a business. They say 9 out of every 10 businesses fail. So when it's hard, it is because that is how it is characteristically hard. The question though is the ROI on the difficulty that you're experiencing, does it make sense? Are you just having this difficulty and at the end all this suffering is just for 55,000 naira? Do you understand? So entrepreneurship is difficult, and that's what I always tell people. You need to know the size of your opportunity first. A lot of people start businesses because they need to eat now. That is never a good way to start a business. But that is a good impetus to start a business. That's a good motivation to start a business. Now, if you have that motivation to start a business, that is good. After you have that motivation, go and find somewhere to eat. After you have eaten, all right, then now settle down and think, okay, what is the business opportunity that I want to take advantage of? Or else you will spend a lot of time. See, where is the market? Who is buying? Who is selling? What is the best way to buy and sell? The people who have been doing this before, how are they doing it? You can't just come out and say you want to do things your own way. It's Jeff Bezos that says that the problem he has with people being contrarian is that the conventional wisdom is usually correct. So I want to do it differently. It's not everything that can be done differently or should be done differently, and not everything that you can differentiate. Sometimes you have to do it the way it is done, only better. All right? Only better. So have a bold, confident conversation. And then the next point there is show something basic, a sample. You've got to show something, a picture, a video. You've got to show something that makes that experience memorable. It's so important. All right. And then listen to what they have to say. It's not the time to argue. It's about being effective. All right. Not about doing what you like. So this is my personality. We don't need your personality here. We need what is important to run a business. You can't just behave as you like. Say, this is how I prefer it. You know me. Once they start talking to me like this, I become somebody else. You cannot become somebody else. You're not being effective. All right. You're not being effective. You're just being a person, and there's no future for the person who doesn't want to be effective. All right. You want to raise money, and to raise money, you need them to help you. You are looking for help, even though you are not begging for help. You are asking for help, but you do need to be helped. And when you need to be helped, you don't go around annoying the person. If you don't talk to them anyhow, they will not know the opportunity. It's a lie. It's not true. You cannot insult your way to a credit alert. It doesn't work. All right. Anybody who tells you that is my style. There's a time when these people who sell on Instagram. Some of them say I don't even care. People enter my DM. I talk to them anyhow. That's my style. That's just the way I roll. After you roll like that, you will roll out of business because it doesn't work. All right. So you can't insult your way to a credit alert. So be very calm and nice. Listen very. So if you have a team, go with your team so that it looks very serious. Let them know that you're coming with your team. So it looks very serious. But this is what they have to say, and then finally have a definite ask. Don't say uncle anything you can just give us. No, we actually need 755,000. That's how much we actually need. That's the minimum we need. But if you can give us anything, we will take it and we'll run with it. At least This 755,000 will land you. I mean, if you're even taking the conversation there, sometimes the conversation of family and friends doesn't even get to the point of equity or how much percentage. You're asking them, but you are telling them clearly whether it's a loan, whether they are dashing you, or whether it is an investment for equity. Equity is a percentage of your business. And don't be thinking, don't do funny things like this. For 45 billion of my business, 100,000 naira. 100,000 naira for if you imagine you give out 50% of your business for 100,000 naira. That means you value the whole business at 200,000 naira. But all that you are working for, you are having 200,000 naira. So I mean, there's a whole other conversation on valuation, and then you can find all those resources on the Inversion platform. There's in the Inversion Instagram platform, that's at Inversion STC. There's a whole program that discusses how to fund your business. This is included how to cold call investors, how to pitch your business. The script that works to pitch your business to investors. What investors are always looking out for. What are the pitfalls after you have even gotten a yes? What are some of the things that could derail your pitch after all? So there's so many of these things that we have taught in our training series. So you can go to Inversion's Instagram page and you will be able to see it. Or where you're watching this, there may be a link above or below this for you to see that complete course. The course has 5 modules that discuss every aspect of business funding. For example, it's only invested as your option for business funding. There are other ways that you can raise funds, other ways you can raise. You can raise funds for your customers. You can raise funds from something called crowdfunding. There are crowdfunding platforms that you can leverage, that you can use. There are some here in Nigeria. There may be some in your country. The most popular ones, the Kickstarters and all those other guys all around the world. So there are opportunities to raise funds, but you do need money for your business. You do need money for your business. And to get money for your business, though, you've got to have a clear value. You've got to have clarity on your value. And you do not know that clarity at the beginning. I repeat, you do not know exactly how great your company is going to be at the beginning. So you have to have a huge dose of hope, a huge dose of optimism. It is okay. And if you're already running a business here and you're wondering, oh, I don't know why things are not going fine for me, or I'm trying to work my business better, you have several questions in your mind as to how could I improve my business. By the way, you have an opportunity to ask as soon as we round this off, because I'm still going to be here and you can actually ask those questions. But even more so, all right, it is not strange for business to be difficult. All right, business by nature is difficult. Entrepreneurship is not designed to be easy. When you hear 9 of every 10 SMEs fail, they don't fail because the people that are doing them were lazy or they were unintelligent. They probably gave their all, but it just didn't work out. But things don't just work out because they refuse to work out, right? If not, then things will work just because they choose to work. There is a structure, there is a strategy, there is a technique by which things work, and it's all a knowledge gap. Ever look back as someone and say, if I knew this in 2005, I would have done this. If I knew this. So whatever challenges you're experiencing today, you're going to look back several years from now and realize that it's actually just a knowledge gap. It's actually just a knowledge gap. So this is why companies like SME 100 Africa is creating, so that you can have access to a community of entrepreneurs like you. So one of the first things you must understand that what you're experiencing is not unique to you, all right? Every business owner is asking the same question. Forget about the fact that we all come out looking as if we know we have all the answers. And sometimes you figure it out, and life is really good. It's not true that everybody is just suffering. No, at some point it gets better, really. But if you're not there, it's not odd. All right, it's not odd. So the final point there is have a definite ask. So I'll just go right back to the top. I'll just go to the very next slide, which is comments, questions, and answers. You can get on board and ask your question. But remember, when we began, we said before you ask, and you can ask while I'm talking. We said before you ask for the money, right? Ask yourself, is there a business opportunity? Is there a business opportunity? Is there a business idea? An idea is the one that came to your head. You got an idea. That's great. An opportunity is the one you saw. Now you can get an idea from an opportunity that you saw. But what is more important is an opportunity. See, ideas are a dime a dozen, but opportunity comes but once. Although that's not true. Opportunity comes several times. Right. All right. So is there a business opportunity? All right. Do you know how much you need? Do you really know how much you need? All right. Are you aware of how much you need? Then what have you done before that qualifies you for this one? Then is there demand for the product and have you tested it? Is there demand for your product? Is there demand? Is there a demand for your product and have you tested it? How do you know? What are you working with? Just hope? In entrepreneurship, you don't work with just hope. You work with data. You work with points. This is why this will work. This is why it will not work. All right. So you need hope, of course, a huge dose of hope. But at the same time, you need data. You need data to show that, oh, this is why I think it will work. All right. And do you know how the money is going to come back? Do you know how the money is going to come back to your investors? Do you know how you're going to make sales? And most importantly, are you collecting money for free? Are they dashing you the money? Is it a loan that they're going to pay back? Is there interest? Is that what you are asking for? Now, don't forget, they're not the ones that are responsible to answer. It's you. It's what you want. All right. Is it equity that you're giving them as part of it? And then when we talk about structuring your ask, when you're structuring your ask, that's tactics. Remember, I talked about the difference between value and tactics. Value is the core, like the main thing, the center point of what you're doing. Value is the thing you're offering. Tactics is how you are offering it, right? Like in business, your product is the value. Your marketing and your branding and all that is how you are offering that value. But the truth of the matter is that a lot of people think that this marketing is what determines their business. So I need to market more. Actually, as a business, you will understand that it's always been about the quality of what you're doing. The quality of what, there are only two reasons why you may not be having sales as a business. Just two reasons. It's either the quality, the quality of what you're doing is not good enough, or not enough people know about it. It's either one of these two. And it's important for you to sit down and identify which is it, and then of course solve it. So in structuring your act, the first thing I said, have a rider. That means do an intro before you just enter and be asking for the money like that. Do an intro, let there be a soft landing. All right. The next point that we have there is have the discussion one-on-one. You might have discussion one-on-one, right? Have a bold, confident conversation. Answer questions, expect questions. I told you about my experience when I first started. My very first business idea, right out of, I think I was still in school, so I think I was in my third year or my fourth year in school then. My very first idea, I was so surprised that my uncle was asking me questions. Why are you asking me questions? If you want to give me money, give me money. I didn't quite say that, but I felt so. But now I look back, I had no business feeling so, right? It's his money, right? And I should make a stronger case. So don't even bring your own personality inside the whole matter. Just if they ask you questions, answer the questions, have a confident pitch, all right? Then show something, come with something that you can show, a photo or video, something that you can show that shows, okay, we've done something, we're busy. Because let me tell you, if you've not done anything, and you are waiting for someone to give you money so that you can start to do something, you will most likely waste the money. I know. Imagine I'm the uncle. I already know because I was young too. I was where you are before. All right. So you most likely waste the money. And because I know you most likely waste the money, I may not listen to you. All right. So show something that you have been working on, something that you have been working on. And don't forget that people don't wake up in the morning thinking, I feel like dashing money to people today. Let me dash money to everybody that I can find. No, people don't wake up thinking, I feel like dashing money to people. People wake up thinking, maybe I should make some money. And if I can't make some money, let me keep the one I have. Now you're coming there to ask them money. You're not asking them for money because you want them to dash you money. You're asking them for money because you think that, I can multiply your money. I can multiply your money. Do you know that investors sometimes get up to 10 times their investment over a period of 5 to 7 years? Do you know what it is? You put in $1 million into something and collect $10 million in 5 years. It's amazing. Okay, imagine you put in $10 million. You can get 100 million in 5 years without doing anything. Just some young guys are doing the work for you. So investing is very nice if it works out. All right, it's very nice if it works out. So, and that's the opportunity that you're giving your uncle. So, uncle, come in for this percentage of my business. And if you give a percentage, write an email, write a letter saying, okay, we've given you a percentage. And I told you, be careful with your valuation. Don't say just for 55% of my business, give me 100,000. What is the value of the business? Just multiply it by the total percentage and you get the value of the business. That business is less than 200,000 naira. So don't jump. Offer 1%, 2%. All right? Offer. Well, if you're going to ask for something, if you're going to offer something like 10%, make sure you're asking for something substantial. All right? But conversations around valuation are things that we can have. But I'm sure we have other resources that talk about valuation for your investments. And so listen to what they have to say. Don't forget, we talk about effectiveness. Don't just do what you feel like. You need to listen. No matter how much what they are saying is very wrong. This internet thing, especially if you have an internet business. This internet thing is the antichrist. This is the sign of the mark of the beast. Anybody that's doing anything on the internet, that person is fellowship with the devil. Don't say, "Uncle, you are so ignorant." No, just smile and make your own points. All right, make your own points about the opportunities there and how that you understand and how that you see that. You're not trying to school them on the internet. You're just trying to make a point that I'm confident in this opportunity, and clearly I see that this can work. And if there's still doubt, it's okay. It's okay for people to be skeptical about you when you come to ask them for money. It's okay. It's okay. It's normal. All right. They're not supposed to jump and say, "You want money? Ha! I've been waiting for you to come." No, it's after you have turned around. It's after you've done business 1, 2, 3, and you are now very successful. They will be looking for you. But at the beginning, everybody is looking at you like this, and it goes on for some time. All right. So this is what they have to say, and then the final one is have a definite ask. Have a definite ask. All right. So these are important points. With these few points of mine, I hope I've been able to convince you. and not to confuse you with regards to how to raise money from your friends and family to start your first business. All right. So I'm going to take questions, contributions, and things that you have to say. Okay. All right. I think we're all here now. Hi. I can see some people. Okay, I see some chats. Okay, excellent. All right.
Can you hear me now?
Hi, I can hear you, Destiny.
Okay, I can hear you, Brain. Okay. I'm calling in respect of a business plan that I want to do for my business. I want to open a business. Oh, sorry, I want to start up a business. So I need a business plan for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. If you just send an email to, or you can just chat Inversion STC on Instagram, and we can help you get a business plan. Connect you to one of my colleagues to help you talk about a business plan. It's one of the things that we do. But what business do you want to start, and what do you need the business plan for?
Okay. The business is a cleaning business.
Okay. So are you raising money for the business plan, or are you trying to understand the business better?
Okay. I want to understand the business better and also raise money. Okay. Most especially
how much are you looking at raising?
Probably 5 million or 8 million.
Yeah. 5 million or 8 million. Okay. All right. Okay, so here is something I know that we can do. We do have a business writing service, but I can tell you that for a business like yours, the value is in the planning of the business as against the business plan. Because you could pick up any business. Can you hear me? Are you still with me? Can you hear me?
I didn't get that. No.
Okay. Okay. I
It's
said the
comic.
value for a business like yours, the value is in the planning of the business as against having the business plan document. All right.
Okay.
So the business plan document is something that can be created. You could use any of our templates. We do have a template that you could also use to get the business plan. But the planning of the business, is the plan of business is very important. So the
Okay.
8 million, you know what you want to use it for. How are you looking to raise the money? Are you raising it for family or friends? Are you raising it from do you want to go to a bank? Are you talking to an investor? Are you talking to somebody else who is in the industry? You want to raise
Okay.
it from
I'm talking to an investor
okay.
and other. Yeah.
So is this investor close to you in any way?
Yeah. It's close to me, but not family.
Okay, so friend.
Yeah, friend.
Okay, okay, okay. And then he has asked for a business plan.
Yes, that
Okay,
is it. Because
okay,
he wants his friends as well. So I was talking to him about the business, but it was like, Destiny, where's your business plan? You need a business plan. You can't plan a business, blah, 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 saying much about him. So I thought about it and I realized that, okay, if I have a business plan, I think I'll make more sense even and
okay,
get. Mhm.
okay. So Destiny, could you send me an email, Brian? Just give the title. Just give the title Destiny Business Plan. I remember. Then I would discuss with you there on how we can get your business plan within the week, so that you can go and get your business and start your revolutionary cleaning business that's going to change. What city are you in? Destiny, do you hear me? So what city are you in? Can you hear me? Okay, I think that has
Hi, good evening.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. Good evening. Thank you so much for this section. It's really wonderful.
Thank
And
you.
I can actually say I've actually learned one or two things. Permit me not
Okay.
to review my pictures.
Sure. Sure.
I'm actually doing something at the moment. But I actually have a question. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, I can.
Okay. Now, I run a foundation, and what we'll do is we'll try to go to the villages. We try to set up some small scale business for people,
Okay.
especially less privileged. So orphanage that young orphanage, for example, somebody that just finished secondary school, side also things that they can do to that can add up to their life, and they can use to sponsor their own education by themselves. But I
Okay.
have little challenges. For example, I could remember early this year we were able to set up some small scale business of selling tomatoes, pepper, like food stuffs. But I realized that the complaint I got from them is people are not really patronizing them, in the sense that, everybody wants supermarkets, everybody wants, these good looking settings. And basically, these people that I'm talking about, most of them just don't even have access to internet. They don't even have a browsing phone. They don't even, so let alone having access to internet. It's easier for us to set up a business when you have access to internet, you know how to use it. But this set
Yes.
of people, they don't even have access to internet, and it's even a small scale, very small scale business. So
Okay.
how do you think we can encourage them? What are the things you think we can help them with to boost their business? Obviously, I can't be running like 10 businesses for different people. It won't be easy for me. But this kind of person, what do you think we sorry?
Hello?
Sorry, what do you think we can do? Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
So I've actually been thinking about this, like, okay, small scale business is not just about we alone. Yeah, I understand that we are in the social media world, but let's bring it to the area of people that are in the villages, people that are not even aware use it. So this is my question. What do you think we can do to help them grow their business?
Okay, so the first thing is, before people start a business, they have to they have to be they have to be they have to be clear on what the demand is that they are meeting. Where is the demand? So before we start the business, because some things that just come to mind, oh, sell bread, sell biscuits, do this. But if there is no clear demand, like people want this is what people want. All right. Now, people already have templates that they want to buy bread from, and then you come in a small community and you want to sell bread to, business becomes hard. So before we even think about how to help people sell the business or market business, let's even take a step back and think, okay, are there more innovative things that we could get these young people doing? All right. If people really want the supermarket, for example, if they want the supermarket, for example, is there a way to put these people into a delivery structure where, oh, they can help people go and get the things from the market and bring to house and earn some money out of it, as against them starting to sell their own things by themselves? So we have to look at the options at the level first of creating the business. All right. What is
Okay.
the best business for us to create for these people, given that if people have options they're already used to, the likelihood of them leaving those options to go and embrace new options is slim. All right. If people want
Okay.
something clean, especially for food, you can't blame them for wanting something clean. And we cannot force them to like what these people are doing, because we are trying to help them. So we have to rethink the best way to put them to use. Then the second answer that I will give for what you have said is it possible for you to, instead of having, is it possible for you to uh, make them a group and let all of them be under the same umbrella, and then that group becomes like, I can see the name, I don't know whether the name is T Gold Foundation, or so if it's T Gold Foundation, you can call it T Gold Marketplace. And T Gold Marketplace is not an online marketplace. This is not the internet. T Gold Marketplace is just a new thing that we all can come together, share marketing budget, which is put small posters and flyers around, etc., whatever we can do. And then everybody knows T Gold Marketplace, and then there are numbers that you can call to pick whatever you want. You need to be solving a problem, in a sense, like the fact that people, oh, let me just sell another crayfish, or let me just sell bread, or let me just sell snail. That's great, but what problem am I solving? Oh, people want to buy crayfish, but they don't want to go to the market. They need someone to bring to them. They need delivery service. Let us think through the best way to put the best business for these people to start. All right, to start with, before we then think about how to. You never get to successfully make customers buy anything. Like, if customers want to go like this, they're going to go where they want to go. All right. Our job is to meet
Yeah.
them there. Our job is to figure out how to meet them on their way. All right. So that's what I think about the structure. So maybe a whole new structure needs to be created. But like I said during the class, there are only two reasons why people may not be selling in their business. There's just two reasons in the whole wide world. It's either the value that you are creating is not really what the market wants, or it's not good enough, or there's something is not there yet, and that's okay. Or people who don't know much about it, maybe obscurity. All right. So if the problem therefore is obscurity, then the answer is simply publicity. All right. Let's get more people to know about it. But it's better for them to publicize as one group than for them to publicize as, each person trying to push their things. Better for you to bring them under honor. That's why people form associations and bodies, because together we can make a stronger impact. And then thirdly, if I hear you right, it's becoming difficult to run. It's becoming difficult to run this thing, and you running all these businesses yourself. You may want to solicit partners. You may want to structure some kind of business plan as to, okay, where do you want to take this thing to? How big does it get? You want to get a grant proposal out there and pitch for as many grants as you can, right?
Yeah.
All those things help you, because the more money that you have, the more you are able to do more. All right. So it's
Yeah.
understanding your vision and articulating that vision on a sheet of paper. That's the work involved. But most importantly, what you're doing is amazing. Helping these ones, because you see, this is like the last mile of development, and a lot needs to be done at the top for people even who are in urban areas who can't even find work to do. But these ones themselves, somebody needs to attend to them because they are more in number. They are more than those in the urban areas. They're actually more. All right. And we've got to do something about it. So also happy to help you. We can help you get out a grant proposal if that's what you require at this time. And if you want to understand more on marketing, SM100 has several masterclasses on marketing also that you can take advantage of. But I hope I answered the question to a certain extent.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful, Alice. You've nailed it for me. Sorry, I have one question before I go. Please.
Sure.
I have a friend.
Yes.
She's into catering business.
Okay.
So when she started, I was aware about it, and I told her that one thing I know about business is set your standard. Because I realized that the more once you set your standard, everybody will know you for who you are. This is this person. This is what she does. This is what she do, and this is her price tag and stuff like that. So, but she had to tell me that okay, we in my own area we are like 10 that is doing that same business. The business she's trying to venture into, which I tried that I don't really believe that because somebody is doing one business, I should not do it. I believe in my branding. I believe in my quality. I believe in my customer service. That's what I believe in. So I don't care if 100 people are doing the same business. Now, but she now said, okay, and because so that she can have customers, she had to reduce her price tag. So she could get more people. We are Nigerians. We know how to price things. So when it gets to like, oh, this person is cheaper, she thinks like, oh, I could get more people. Now, she now realized after a year now, she now realized that she's not making gain. At the end of the day, the money she gets for the product goes for the product. There's no gain. There's nothing. Like she's not making money. Yeah, she has the customer that she wants now, but she's not making the gain. Now she not asked me a question like, okay, what do you think I can do? Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Then I told him at this point, I feel like rebranding will really work for you. Like do some packaging that is totally different from what you do before. So if they see the packaging, they might really buy into the idea. But she is saying that, okay, now she's trying to tell people like, oh, this thing is no more this price. Like she's trying to change the price now, but she realized that she's losing a lot of customers. So that kind of person, what do you think she can do? Because she has customers now, but she's not making the gain that she really wanted. But she has the audience already.
Okay, so I get that. That's a great question. So think about markets in terms of segments, right? Before we talk about price, either raising the price or reducing the price, if a market segment, when I talk about a segment, I'm talking about like a demographic, like a buying public, like a group of people who buy things. If this market segment comfortably buys at 50 naira, you can't force them to buy from you at 60 naira or 75 naira. All right, you can't force them to buy from you at 75 naira because they are comfortable buying at 50 naira. Now, if you want to sell for 75, you have to be targeting a whole new market segment that is comfortable buying at 75. So it is extremely difficult for you to arbitrarily raise your price and say, oh, my price has gone to this, especially when other people are still selling at 50 naira, which makes that market segment comfortable, right? So when you talk about rebranding, the idea is, okay, where is the new segment and how do I target them? If you're going to rebrand the business and then charge what you think you deserve, you're going to be selling to a whole new group of people, not the same people.
Okay.
The truth of the matter is that some of the people that you are selling to now will come, all right? They will follow you to where you're going to, and that's great. But they are not your target because you cannot force a segment to pay more than they are comfortable paying. You are going to attract a whole new segment. Now, you cannot be doing the same thing you're doing for this segment and think you're going to get the attention of the next segment. I'm sorry, who's that? I'm not too sure who's talking. Okay. All right, I found him. All right. So, Ura, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
All right. So you can't do the same thing they're doing, targeting this segment at this next. So what is required to target this next segment? Do you have the money? All right. Do you have the money to target this next segment? Because you have to be very realistic. Sometimes you don't have the money to target the next segment. That means if you really want to change your price, you need an infusion of investment. You need someone to give you money so that you can create the brand that targets this next segment. Or else you will just find yourself struggling between these two market segments. And trust me, customers are not going to pay for something that they believe that they can get the same value for cheaper. All right, they believe they can get the same value, but you are right. There are no markets that are saturated, and everybody should create things at their value. And entrepreneurs should not be drawn into that price war, because the price war is a war you cannot win. For you to win a price war, you need a very large war chest. All right, especially if it's just you. All right, so to aim for a larger market segment, you need to know, okay, what do I need to access it? And if you can create those things, trust me, you can multiply your customer base. Because if 50 people are patronizing you today, how many people are in Lagos? How many people are in Nigeria? How many people are all around the world? You know, billions of people around the world. So it's really, you can lose all the customers you have today and get new ones. But it's never advisable for you to lose your current customers. But the point I'm just trying to make is that there are new customers. If these ones are not willing to buy from you for you to be profitable, there are other customers, all right, that can actually give you the money that you deserve. But it makes no sense running a business without making the money that you deserve. Okay. There's a question here in the chat.
Thank you.
You're welcome. There's a question here in the chat. Okay, there's Kunle Livingstone. Kunle Livingstone, you raised your hand. Are you still there? Kunle, I'm here for you.
I'm here. Good evening.
All right, good evening. So let's hear it. So what's up?
Yeah. First of all notice, especially based on the last conversation before putting my question across, that when we were coming up with products as SME, we always fail to put into consideration the activities of competition. For instance, the catering stuff, for instance, first of all, look at it that, okay, which area do I want to operate from? And what is my target audience? And how many people are already there doing it? Will I be the only one doing it? Or am I going in there with the little capital I have to set up and into very stiff competition? How am I going to survive? So I see that as one thing that we're not looking at, and I would like you to speak to that. Then on my own question, I sometimes back like 6 years ago, I check the insurance landscape of this country compared to what we have in developed countries. And I see that a lot of opportunities.
Oh, sorry, I got that. Okay, please continue.
Okay. So I see that there are a lot of opportunities for insurance business. And as a result of that, I set up an insurance broking firm. You know, I'm not an insurance person, but I invested there. Then so that I have clear understanding of my investment. Now, I need a whole lot of maybe re-engineering or restructuring, I don't know how to put it, that can make me attract patronage for the business. I understand the fact that we are not positively disposed to insurance in this country. I understand that fact. But I also don't want to lose sight of the opportunities therein if peradventure things start looking towards that direction that will make people to have conscious efforts that whatever I'm doing, I need to make sure I get insurance cover for same. If we start having that mentality, I know it's going to be more or less like a no-brainer for you to now turn out, yes, to now start making some tractions from it. But be as it may, I still want to go through the long haul of enduring it till I now start getting traction. And so I'm not tired about it, but I want some more ideas on what can be done. I've done some little marketing. I registered with a GG because I know those ones sells vehicles and the rest. So I registered with them. Say if you want to do insurance, blah, 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 you can reach out to us. I registered with SME Africa. I do one-on-one too in few estates, few friends, and the rest. And I also see another challenge again, that if we go and set up business based on the fact that we have a lot of friends that might need that product, we might be in for a shocker of our life. So I came back to it to reveal that even if all my friends that have vehicles do even third-party insurance 55K with me, I should still be able to pay my staff salaries and maintain my office without adding money from my pocket. But I guess I was wrong. And I understand the fact that you made a very valid point when you were concluding that by the time you go through this hall and the business now start getting some success, those people will come naturally, start looking for you.
Definitely.
To patronize you. But if you go and set up that business based on the fact that you know them, or you go and set up an hotel or a drink joint based on the fact that you think you are a socialite and you have people around you, I see it that the end is not always palatable. Yes. So I'm looking for a professional and a practicable way of pushing this insurance business and making sure that this company survive and pass through the test of time. Thank you.
Okay, excellent. Thank you so much for that. Let me start from your first question around competition. And I'm just going to answer it. It's the one I know. If you are entering any new business, you have to look at the competitive landscape. That's why business plan is always important. You have to look at the competition available. What are they doing? Now, that doesn't mean that the fact that there's competition there, it means that you cannot enter. But the competition determines how you therefore enter, right? One of the businesses that I find really exciting is people who do things like training. Look at what's happening in the whole training space, like training, capacity building. A lot of companies have been training, they have large training contracts for different companies. And then you want to start a training company. How are you going to start a training company? You can't go and start struggling for the same contract that they're struggling for. You have to enter differently. Now that everybody's like doing the internet thing, maybe you can start your trainings online, or maybe you can do a different kind of training. So competition determines your how, all right? It doesn't stop you from doing the what. There's enough space in the sky for every bird to fly, but you can't fly the same way if you're going to beat the competition, because you need to beat the competition because the market's already getting the money from somewhere. All right. So that's just a very important point. So if you forget the competition and you get into a market without a distinct strategy for how you are going to come in and get your customers in spite of the competition, you may have real problems. All right. Now for insurance, Nigeria is a very interesting market that a lot of these things, until they have policy backing, all right, they don't get the traction that they should. That means the only reason why people say wearing seatbelts in their car is because the government said don't wear seatbelts to arrest you. All right, the only reason why a lot of people go and do their driver's license is because they want to find out whether they can still drive well, because the government says if you don't have driver's license, we will arrest you. Even the third-party insurance is even mandatory. All right, so but it's not really well publicized. So you are in a market that has its own macro complexities, in that everything in this market is struggling with food. Everybody, every business, all of us that are doing this, we're all struggling with food, because people will either eat or patronize you because there's really not enough money. There's not a lot of money in the system in some areas. the thing about insurance is people know they need it, but people are not, they are not falling over themselves to try to get it as much as they need it. And with more marketing, you may not be able to even hit your target audience. So what I would advise is, do like what even insurance companies are having the same problems. I remember that we're having a meeting with one of the leading insurance companies, and they're having the same problems. Like, why are people not buying insurance? Because people don't think it's important, right? People don't know that. And people also feel that even if I buy the insurance, when something happens to my car, can I really claim it? Can I really claim the insurance? And if you want to start re-educating that market, is extremely expensive. So I would say that the opportunity in insurance is coming. It's not here yet in the short term. That is just the truth. Um, um, I will not discourage you from your tirelessness in pursuing it as a business. But I think it's important for us to sit down one-on-one to discuss what the options could possibly be. There's only so much I can say in a forum like this, because with the information I have, because some questions I would like to ask you as to what we can use, the current, can you guys still hear me? All right. What we can use your current exposure to do, all right? Maybe it's an ancillary service that could help you make the insurance thing sell, or maybe it's another thing that you can do, which could even include creating an online course to explain this insurance thing, if people want to enter it, or why your business, there are other sources of income that we can create for you around this insurance thing itself, all right, as against the insurance itself, because I can tell you that the opportunity in insurance is still coming. All right, it's still coming, and the budget needed to educate the market on why they need insurance is immense. All right, but a quick suggestion is partnerships. Partnerships will help you a lot. For example, like you said, you went to Gigi to see those guys who are selling cars. Even big insurance companies have gone to Jumia to partner with those people who are selling phones and make them insure their phones, their phone screen, and all those things. So partnerships could really help you to a certain extent. All right. So I hope I was able to answer your question. But if you want us to talk further, we do have some mentoring platforms that you can come on. But I believe that it's important for you to understand that business is not it's not easy, but it shouldn't be extremely difficult. The numbers must work. All right. At the end of the month, you should know how much you have. All right, how much is coming in, and if it's not, you should create other sources of income. You can force the market, like the point that we made about family and friends. You can't force the market to buy what they don't want, what they don't need, especially now, because people are tight with funds. People are tight with funds. So when you're coming to tell them insurance, they're thinking, is that what is doing me? What is doing me right now? But on a final note, there is a hungry market somewhere for insurance. It's your job to look for them. There is a hungry market. There's some people who really need insurance. Maybe they've experienced it before, or maybe something has gone, they've lost something. They really need insurance. The question is, where are they? How can I find them, and how can I sell to them? You've got to sell to people who want what you are selling. All right. The question is, where are they? There is a hungry market somewhere for what you are selling. We just have to figure out how to find them. All right. So we can't really exhaust all that we need to do here, but keep in touch. We have a mentoring platform that you can take advantage of. It's a paid mentoring platform though, so just keep that in mind. But let us know more about how we can target and find that hungry market, because until you find that hungry market, this is very difficult. This is very difficult if you're trying to tell people what they don't want. This is very difficult if you're trying to tell people what they need, but they really, really, really don't want. You're better off telling them what they want, or we can find a way to reposition, restructure the business, find alternative sources of income that we can create within the same vertical, in the same insurance vertical, or think through and brainstorm where the hungry, who are people who really, really, really need who are people who really need insurance, where are they, and then take the conversation from there. All right. So we have Anab Jets, who's asking, apart from family and friends, how else can I raise money? So family and friends is one of about 5 or 6 core ways that people raise money. All right. The second one is crowdfunding, which is like kind of new. Like you just go on platforms and ask a lot of people for money, right? Right. Okay, are you there? All right. So the second one is like crowdfunding, and we have a lot of people. You ask for money. Then of course there's angel investors. Those are rich people who can give you money to do what you want to do if you can pitch them well. Those are venture capitalists. Venture capitalists are organizations that have limited partners who come together and give money to these organizations to help them invest in high growth businesses. Of course, the requirements for each level is higher as it goes. You can also raise money from your customers, all right? You can, for example, maybe you make furniture. You can get the money first. You can get the down payment and use that to make the first one, and then the second one, and then the third one, and then you can grow. You can grow from there. So you can actually make money. You can actually make money from your customers. You can actually raise money from your customers as well. All right. So there are just a number of ways. Like I said, there's a full course on this, and it's on the Inversion platform, and you can just find out all the different ways you can raise money and how best to approach these different sets of investors. All right. So do we have any other question?
Hello, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, please. I'm
Good afternoon. Hi,
thank you for
Damola.
this platform. I really appreciate so much. Like, that's really been very impactful for me today. Okay, so I have this question. First of all, I would like a business plan. It's small scale business. I'm into food and beverage products and services.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Okay, I'm a small scale business and I'm into food and beverage production and services.
Okay.
Like I run a catering services.
Okay.
So I have this challenge. First of all, I've gone online, I've seen templates of business plan, but then how to execute properly, sketch it all out. It's challenging. So I really love if you can help me out with the business plan.
Well, we're very happy to help you out with the business plan. At Inversion, that business plan start at 250,000, but I don't know whether that is within your budget.
Okay, all right.
So we have a whole team that can help you out to get your business plan. I can get one of them to come on the phone with you to discuss that, if that's within your budget.
All
but
right.
if it's outside of your, if you just okay, how do you get your number across to me? Could you private chat the host and then just send me your number? So, or you can just email, you can just send me an email, brian@inversionafrica.com.
I didn't get that.
Let me try and type it in here. Brian@inversionafrica.com. Okay. I don't think did you get it? Did you get it? Brian@inversionafrica.com.
Okay, brian@injectionafrican.com.
Yes, I'm trying to send it in. Okay, I think I just sent it in the chat now to everybody. So brian@inversionafrica.com. If you just do me an email, just say Oyin Damola business plan with your phone number. I'll get someone to get on the phone with you and help you get your business plan. All right.
Okay. That's the first question. The second question.
I can hear you. I'm here. Hello. Oyinda, are you there? Can you still hear me? Okay. Well, somebody else was trying to ask a question also. Let's take that very quickly. We're almost running off. So just have a few minutes left. But where is Oyinda though?
Hello, good afternoon. So can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Hello.
I can hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now? Okay. I was saying, okay, I can hear you too. I was saying that I would really love to join an association. Like I said earlier, I'm into food and beverage service and production, and I would really love to join an association in Nigeria. And I don't know if you have any you can actually recommend.
A food and beverage association or an entrepreneur association?
Yes, sir.
Which one? Is it a food and beverage association or an entrepreneurs association?
Entrepreneurs Association.
Okay, for
Food and beverage services.
Okay, well, for food and beverages specifically, I don't really know. None really comes to mind right now. But for an entrepreneur association, I know that the SME 100 community has a lot of people in your similar industries, and maybe you're giving us ideas along the lines of creating industry-specific events, which I think we will do. All right, so that you can meet other people in your space. But SME 100 has a vibrant community of entrepreneurs. That you can have a lot of lateral communication with, so that you can share your experiences with them, and they can share your experience with you, and you could get better. I'm not sure how. I think the best thing is for you to send a message on the SME 100 Africa Instagram page. Just search SME 100 Africa.
I'm already
Instagram.
following them.
Okay, excellent. Just start there and say, I would like to join the community, and then somebody will have that chat with you on how you can join the community. But it's a very good idea for you to join a community of entrepreneurs, because trust me, I know that this game could be very lonely. All right, so it's good for you to have a team that you can work with.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Have a great evening. All right, sir.
Good job. Thank you. All right. So I think maybe we'll have maybe one more, or no more. We're good. I think we've gotten to the point. So if you do have any follow-up questions, maybe you've been trying to get your question in and then you've not been able to get in because of the press. If you do have any follow-up question, please send that email to Brian@inversionafrica.com, and we'll take it up from there. And in case you do need a business plan, if that's the question that you have, just let me know, and a team member from Inversion Africa will help you get your business plan as soon as possible. All right. So thank you very much, and don't forget we have this small business Saturdays every Saturday. All right. So it's important that you are part of it, and the replays will be up, and it'll be up. I think it'll be paid as well. All right, so you can tell your friends who didn't get an opportunity to come to class to go on the SME 100 platform and the Inversion Africa platform. Inversion is at Inversion STC on Instagram. I think we do a lot of our engagements on Instagram because I think it's the easiest way to do these things these days. So the SME 100 platform on the Inversion STC platform to get the recording of this session. Thank you very much. All right. So how do I